This is the Nikon Z8, and I've spent the last year pushing it to the limits, from capturing epic landscapes and air shows to chasing the northern lights and even photographing a total solar eclipse. But how did it perform? Did it nail those once-in-a-lifetime shots, or did it let me down when it mattered most? Today, we're diving into all of it. The wins, the challenges, and the jaw-dropping photos that'll leave you speechless. Let's go. The Nikon Z8 has been my go-to camera for the past year, with features that stand out and ones that need improvement. First, the autofocus speed. It's incredibly fast and accurate, making it ideal for capturing fast-moving subjects like wildlife or sports. The low light sensitivity is another highlight. It performs exceptionally well in dark environments, producing clean images with minimal noise. The auto bracketing is seamless, allowing you to capture multiple exposures effortlessly for HDR images. Interval timer shooting is perfect for time lapses with an intuitive setup that delivers professional results. And the pixel shift shooting takes detail to the next level, producing ultra high resolution images with incredible clarity. However, the Z8 isn't perfect. The battery life is disappointing. It drains quickly, especially during demanding shoots and cold nights. You'll definitely want to check out an external power supply. Cheap memory cards generate significant heat, and the Z8 struggles to dissipate it. Despite a few drawbacks, the Nikon Z8 has proven itself as a versatile and powerful tool for photography. And next up, we'll be taking a look at some of the photos I've taken over the last year. This first shot takes us to an incredible natural spring at Pedernales Falls State Park in Texas, where water gushes straight out of the ground. To capture the motion and make the waterfall look like a silky ribbon, I used a long exposure shooting at 16mm ISO 64 and a shutter speed of 1/4 of a second. Getting the shot was about stability and precision. I used my Ulanzi travel tripod to lock the camera in place, and that 16mm wide angle really brought the whole scene to life, pulling in all of the lush surroundings while keeping the spring as the star of the show. The result, a dreamy, dynamic landscape that perfectly captures the calm and chaos of this stunning spring. From this serene spring, we're heading to the breathtaking shores of Hawaii for a shot that's as epic as the islands themselves. This shot near Kona, Hawaii is easily one of the most dangerous photos I've ever taken. To get it, I had to perfectly time the water rushing back into this collapsed lava tube. The Nikon Z8 incredible dynamic range really shines here. I shot this at ISO 64 with a 2-second exposure at f/16 using the Z 14-24mm lens. It's slightly underexposed to capture all the detail in the highlights, but that wasn't the only challenge. Just behind me and to my right was the other side of that collapsed lava tube, shown here with rough waves pounding the lava rock. Every wave was unpredictable, and I had to stay laser focused, ready to grab my tripod if a big wave came in. This shot was taken at 14mm ISO 64 f/16 and a 1/2-second exposure. Again, the Z8's dynamic range here delivered beautifully, pulling out all of the rich colors and intricate details in both the water and the rocks from a single exposure. These photos perfectly capture the raw power and beauty of Hawaii's coastline, thanks to the Z8 and a little bit of bravery. This next shot is from the peak cherry blossom season in Washington, D.C., and I got lucky. My trip just happened to land on the perfect weekend. Like my landscape photos, this one highlights the Nikon Z8's incredible dynamic range, but it also shows off its precision focus. I locked focus on the Washington Monument, letting the blossoms blur slightly for a dreamy effect, all while hand-holding the camera at 1/400th of a second. The result? A balanced, vibrant shot that captures the beauty of the season and the sharpness of the Z8. Now let's jump from blossoms to wildlife. But first, if you're thinking about picking up a Nikon Z8, be sure to check out my affiliate links in the description. It's a great way to support the channel at no extra cost to you. And if you're enjoying this content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more photography tips, gear reviews, and epic photo adventures. Switching gears to wildlife, next up is a bald eagle, captured near my house with the Z8 and a Sigma 150-600mm lens. I've been trying to spot this bird for years and finally got lucky. The Z8's fast autofocus made tracking the eagle as it flew by almost effortless, locking on and staying with it the entire time. This shot was a long time coming, and the Z8 made sure I didn't miss it. Although not in the wild, this next photo of a baby gorilla is one of my favorites. The Z8 nailed the pinpoint focus on its eye, capturing incredible detail. Thanks to the dynamic range, I could pull out the shadows to reveal all of the texture and depth in the image. It's not every day you get to photograph a baby gorilla, and this shot taken with the Sigma 150 to 600 millimeters was such a fun moment to capture. So now let's take a look at something a little bit faster. Photographing the Blue Angels back in April was absolutely incredible. Pairing the Z8 with the Nikon Z 600mm f4 lens made for an unforgettable shooting experience. Thanks to the Z8's powerful autofocus and airplane tracking mode, I captured countless razor-sharp photos as these jets soared through the sky. Shooting in the middle of the day came with challenges, especially dealing with the shadows on the planes, but the Z8's dynamic range worked wonders, pulling out all of the detail and giving me crystal clear results. This next shot really shows the autofocus in action. As the number 1 jet roared by, the Z8 tracked it flawlessly, nailing focus at 1/3200th of a second without missing a beat. So from high-speed jets to serene landscapes, the Z8 continues to amaze. So let's dive into some Milky Way shots. This first photo took a lot of planning. If you want to see the behind-the-scene details, check out this video here. After a 2-hour drive, I set up at the southernmost point of the United States during astronomical twilight. The result? A stunning Milky Way nightscape, blending a stack of sky photos with a 4-minute exposure of the foreground. It's a perfect showcase of the Z8's capability for capturing nightscapes. The next image is a truly once-in-a-lifetime composition, with a comet over this iconic church. To pull this off, I used the Z8's built-in interval timer shooting function, capturing a stack of images for the sky at ISO 8000. Later, I processed it in Sequator and combined it with a 4-minute foreground exposure. The results, I think, speak for themselves. Speaking of a once-in-a-lifetime moment, just weeks earlier, I got another unforgettable shot. This time the Northern Lights in North Texas, just west of Fort Worth. Not only were they naked eye visible, but the Z8's high ISO performance brought out incredible detail in these rare aurora images. And if that wasn't enough, I was able to capture a faint SAR arc between substorms. With the Z8's built-in interval timer and high ISO capabilities, I nailed these shots, even with only a half moon lighting the foreground for a 6-second exposure. From nightscapes to northern lights, the Z8 continues to deliver. Let's keep the momentum going with the next shot. 2024 gave me the incredible opportunity to photograph a total solar eclipse, right from my own backyard with the Nikon Z8. Even better, I got lucky with the clouds mostly clearing during totality. The light clouds that remained added a touch of drama to this diamond ring shot, making it even more striking. To make sure I didn't miss a moment, I paired the Z8 with an external intervalometer and used the auto bracketing feature to capture every phase of the eclipse. You can see a great example here of the 8 different bracketed photos I was capturing in one go to ensure I always came away with the right exposure during this event. This setup worked flawlessly, though I did hit a couple of challenges. My cheap memory card overheated at one point, and my Ioptron Skyguider Pro struggled to handle the weight of the Z8 paired with the massive Nikon Z 600mm f4 lens. While the diamond ring shot was a highlight, the Z8's 45.7 megapixel sensor really shined in other images. The high resolution allowed me to crop in dramatically, revealing incredible detail in the solar prominences without sacrificing quality. Without the Z8, I wouldn't have been able to crop in on this image and see it in such great detail. If you're curious about all of the planning and setup that went into capturing this shot in Hawaii, I've got you covered. From scouting the perfect location to nailing the Milky Way composition, I break it all down in a full behind-the-scenes video. You can check it out right here. Just click the link and dive into the details of this unforgettable shot.